This video is sponsored by the Stamp Play Rail store. If you're into some hard to find or even vintage play rails, or maybe even the modern play rail, then go and stop by the Stamp Play Rail store today. Use code the Thomas Kid for 10% off your first order. Hello everybody of the internet, it is me, the Thomas Kid, and I know I'm late on making this. I was supposed to make this like a month ago. I wanted to come on here and talk about the very first new motorized stuff to come out, or item. I don't know why I'm saying stuff, but item. As of recording this video, just for documentation's sake, this set got released on Amazon, and the 3-packs have just started being released here in the States. To sit back and talk about the Day Out with Thomas train, which this was released I believe as early as March. For trying to think when was the first Day Out with Thomas event. I think it was in March. I'm sure you guys will correct me if I'm wrong. It was either April or March, one of the two, because I bought this in April, and I was the second Day Out with Thomas event. So I'm pretty sure it was like March, early April. So we'll say like March/April. And I don't know how to say it. It's like this was a completely under the rug toy. And I say that because on the internet, at least in the Thomas community, typically what happens is something gets leaked of this, which I'll talk about in a second. But the Thomas was never leaked online. We never knew that this was a variant that was going to be released. We didn't know that the Troublesome truck was coming back. We didn't know anything other than the gray Troublesome truck. So the gray Troublesome truck, I think, was leaked shortly after or before my Day Out with Thomas event I went to. But I digress. It's a very, very awesome looking model. Wow. I actually have a lot to say, but I want to save it for when I'm physically holding the train and reviewed it completely in its raw. I am not making no bullshit when I make these type of videos. I am giving you my honest opinions. If you guys have different opinions, that's cool. I just don't care. But I have my own taste on stuff like this. Here's the back of the box. Mattel, why? I know they fixed this in the normal, the actual final, so I'm pretty happy about that. So it will show the whole range, I'm pretty sure. Unless if that's just the UK. Because I know on this side they do show like all the whole range, but it's like really small. Which makes sense. This is just a tester's run. See how things go. But here's the front. We got the digital image here instead of a normal picture of Thomas, like on that box as an example. Or on the top, where Thomas is like that. You know what I mean? Where it's just a CGI render. It is not the case on this, which tells me that this was rushed to be pushed out. We got the amazing 80th anniversary logo chilling right here. Absolutely love that that's printed on. I never was a fan of the removable ones, so I'm glad that that's no longer going to be an issue. I do dig the logo. I always have when the logo got revealed for Day Out with Thomas this year. Like I said, I bought this in April, and I bought 2 of them. Get this. This is a Day Out with Thomas price, so it's going to be more expensive a little bit by a couple dollars than how it's going to probably be released. It was a $16 item. I'm going to repeat that again. $16. What is that telling you? To me, that's telling me either we got better quality or just a much more heavier build. Or just maybe, who knows, maybe just because of the cost, which I wouldn't even doubt that it's because of the cost to manufacture this stuff. Especially with how things are going here in the US. But I refuse to talk about that because I'm not into politics. But yeah, that's pretty much the train in its box. And it does say exclusive, as you kind of wish I pointed that out. I do love the packaging. I'm glad they stuck around with this one. I love it. But now, the train itself, this is what you're getting for 16 bucks. If this wasn't a Day Out with Thomas item and you bought it, say at Walmart or Target, I believe its new price is now $14, I think. Somewhere around there, 14, 13. Because you think about it, the All In This Go stuff was, I believe, $10.99, between $10.99 and $11.99, depending on if you're going to Walmart or Target. So it's not that big of a jump, but at the same time, it raises an eyebrow. We'll save Thomas for amazing last, because I have a lot to talk about him. So here's the Troublesome truck. I gotta say, I'm a big fan of the bottom. I'm a huge fan of the underneath of this thing. I don't know why it took so long for Mattel to wake up and say, oh, the old rolling stock didn't look like trucks. It just looked like a tender or something. But here we are with a new tooling on the bottom. The top is already a pre-existing tooling. I think they updated it because there's now wood planking on the bottom. I know, I have really poor lighting in here. My apologies. The face, the mouth is painted. It screams CGI when I look at this. I know somebody's gonna say the buffers should be painted. I kind of agree. I wish that the buffers, at least the back anyway, or maybe even just both sides, I wish the buffers were painted. Just because it's red. But as a standalone car as it is, I think it's really good. I'm glad that the geared wheels are flipping gone. I hated those. It just made it so much more harder for the trains to pull, because you're just moving around gears. But as you can see, it's just like how it was before, where the axle itself is plastic. It's okay, but if it was metal, it would roll 10 times better. That's just me though. But I can't stop looking at this from the side because it's just so loaded with detail. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it, Mattel. You're cooking with this, bro. That's it for the truck. That's really all I can say. It's a piece of rolling stock with an amazing bottom. Great job, Mattel. Now for the main item, Thomas. Thomas. Well, every time I look at this, I'm like, where the fuck has this been? I'm gonna bring it over. Everybody, hang in there.
Oh my god, bro. Oh hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Where was this in 2014? Almost said 2015. 2014. Where was this? Where were you? Because this was our Thomas. Thomas was very long. Thomas was very fat. Sorry if I offended anybody who's a fan of these. If you're a fan of these, that's cool. I was kind of as a kid. I did like this most of the time. Ow. I have a cut on my finger. I'll use my middle finger. Like, the switches were way too stiff, as you can see. This is a 2014 one. Just the windows looked pretty horrific, I would say. He just was very long overall. I just wasn't a fan. And of course, no freewheel. So, say you're trying to push along, you really can't. It's the same thing with this. I mean, you could still, I guess, push it, but you would just hear clicking. I don't know. Never was a fan. But right off the bat, he's heavy. He's heavy. When if I lift this, he is lighter, should I say. But looking at this Thomas, all I can say is the proportions are absolutely beautiful on this. The overall feel, he doesn't feel cheap like this one does. And this is going to surprise you. Alright? I'm gonna just wheel him in. He feels better quality than this. And this is really good quality, too. Unfortunately, I have no batteries on this one. This one just sits on the shelf. The look-wise, too, the proportions are so much better. I'm not saying Tomy is terrible by any means. I absolutely love Tomy. I collect sealed Tomys just on the side. Wow, are the proportions just so much different. And then, when you compare him to the CGI render, he looks identical for the most part. This is still a really neat toy. I could just feel it. Like, when you hold it, it doesn't feel like you could rip the running board off. You know, like, I'm actually pressing on that with all my weight, and it's not coming off. When if I do here, I betcha. Yeah, see? It just bends. This isn't bending on me. This is like really good quality. The switch isn't so stiff, so little kids can still put them on. My niece loves this, by the way. My niece. And she's 1.5. And she absolutely loves this thing. She learned recently how to turn them on. The only thing I really have to gripe about it is the buffers aren't painted, but I can live with that. I'm used to it. Builds the chassis as well. Also, I forgot what year when they did it, but they like closed this off, thank God. I can't tell you how many times when I was younger, when I was getting into the Trackmasters of the Revolution stuff, as well as Motorized, where I'm like taking this thing apart literally to clean it, to get all the hair out. I can't even tell you. I think I've only did it once to this thing, because I did play with this for a little bit. And you can feel everything. I believe this is printed just like the Thomas Minis, I believe. Just by the quality of the print work. Like, it's all 3D. You can feel the number, you can feel the confetti, you can feel the birthday. Wow. And not to mention, it does look like the real Dale Thomas locomotive, which I believe that's what they were trying to aim with this, which is awesome, because Wooden Railway did it. The coal load's pretty good. The back lamp is there. 3D. It's not just a blank slate like the old one. I do wish this was painted blue, though, or at least in blue plastic, or something. But that's just me. It's just a little nitpick. Take everything I say as a nitpick with a grain of salt. Not everybody's gonna agree. Probably, I bet you some people probably think that this is probably the worst Thomas ever released. Who knows? We all have different opinions. We all have different views. We all have different stuff. And for me, I think this range is pretty damn good. But for the main gripe with this, can you guess what it is? I'm just gonna sit him right here and watch. I'm gonna wait. Do you see it? Oh, okay. Some of you can see it. Okay. Nice. Well, if I bring him a little closer, do you see it now? Yeah, you see it? The chassis is too far back. That's the only gripe, and I call it a main gripe because when you look at, say, a Tommy, for instance, see where the wheel is placed. Yeah, at least, sort of. I mean, even then, it's not even matched up to the wheel arch either. But it's as close to possible. And then if I grab this one's so bad. Like, the wheel arch just doesn't match. It's horrible. And then, on this one, at least they tried. However, I've seen this do it with Duck, which I will do a review on, and I will touch this again. I will bring Thomas in the shot and talk about it again. But this, just a hair at least. Just a little bit. So, the back of this wheel is just lined up to there. But other than that, oh, Mattel, I gotta say, this is a really, really, really good Thomas. This is a great step to the right direction here. I love everything about it. Oh, wow. I think I agree with the fandom when I say this. Thomas is the best one, other than everyone else. Honestly, I know somebody's gonna ask. I just came to my mind now. Here's an All Engines Go Thomas, which is the same chassis, by the way, which I don't mind at all. I don't mind that. We got a new switch as well, but no, that's how I know that. He's actually longer than the All Engines Go one. And see what I mean? The All Engines Go one is like that, so I just kind of pictured this with a line to make that just like this. But you see what I mean? It matches somewhat. So if Mattel just pushed it forward, I'm not saying they have to, it's just a small gripe compared to all the positives. I think this stuff's really good. But if they just move the chassis just a little bit forward, just a smidge, then Thomas would look a little bit better, if not a lot better. But hey, what can I say? It's just a toy or a collectible. This in particular is a collectible. because I would imagine Thomas fans would be buying us to keep in box, or do what I did, buy 2, keep 1 in box and play with 1. But yeah, I think this is really good. This is a great start to the new 80th line. I don't think this is actually an 80th line. I think this is permanent to make way for the 2026 Thomas project. I don't know what it is. I'm excited. It says it's going to delight all the new. If we get more details, maybe I'll talk about it. But yeah, overall, if I was to rate this model out of 10, I'm going to give it a pretty solid 10. I know, probably doesn't surprise you all, 'cause I play with this stuff, and I don't mind things being wrong in some degree. But I think this is genuinely really good. Really, really good. Highly recommend. If you ever go into a day out with Thomas this year, I know I'm going again I'm going to New Jersey, actually. So I'll be at the Edison Train Show, and I'll be also going to see Thomas the next day. So I might pick up one more of these, because this is pretty cool. I might buy one more. Not trying to sound crazy, but hey, what can I say? I like Thomas. Hence the name. Highly recommend this new range. I have a lot to say about the new Thomas set when I do a video on it. But if you do like the video, make sure you smash the like button, because I really want to do videos on this whole range, especially the push along, because my god, I've seen the whole entire thing get leaked. But yeah, with that being said, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out, people.